Okay, so hi, come in, come in. So my name is Varun, and I am the lecturer of Sanskrit at the Department of South Asia Studies. I started this class, as I mentioned, so that we can get the language element along with the grammar element of the other Sanskrit classes I'm teaching. Okay, so I thought I will start with a brief sort of introduction about Sanskrit, but since we're here to learn how to speak, so that introduction will, which is otherwise like 1.5 hours, 2 hours kind of introduction, will be hopefully limited to more like 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will just do spoken. And then, well, we'll see where we go from there. Okay? Firstly, Sanskrit is an extremely patterned language. Okay? So if you know one pattern, if you know how one thing works, then you know how 1,000 other things work also. So keeping that in mind will help you as you go forward, because once you get the framework, you have that bare bones structure of, okay, this is how this thing changes in order to mean this thing. Then it's just a matter of inputting certain vocabulary words in there, which will then change according to your pattern which you have learned. And that will come with experience and time, but I will also try to expose you to as many daily items as possible so that you can start speaking with everyone. Because you will, right? um, it may seem like there's not many people to speak to, but actually there is a very rapidly growing population of Sanskrit speakers all around the world today, who are learning for various reasons. I mean, of course, you guys have brought together quite a diverse range of interests that brings you to Sanskrit. But there's a growing population of people who are interested in Sanskrit as a natural language, as something that can be used in daily life. And the reason for such interest is, of course, the very sacred position that Sanskrit holds within, very many religious traditions within South Asia and also around South Asia. But also because this language is said to hold quite a lot of power. Okay, so I want to talk about the way in which Sanskrit views itself as a language, but also as a technology to manifest various effects in the world. We build our relationship with the language, see how that plays out for you in your own heads, okay, and in your own lives. So it's something quite interesting. We start with the question, what is Sanskrit? Okay, what is it actually? And in order to know what Sanskrit is, we have to know how old Sanskrit is. Do you guys have any guesses as to how old Sanskrit might be? Old. It is old, it's very old. Academically speaking, we date Sanskrit to at least approximately 1500 BC. And the reason we do that is because the earliest date that we generally put onto the Vedas, which are these sort of core texts in Sanskrit from which many religious traditions have arisen, are dated to around 1500 BC. And that's the first time we witness Sanskrit as a language. But of course, in order for something as complicated as the Vedas to arise, the language must, of course, precede that, that date. But it's a time frame that goes, that spans hundreds and hundreds of years. So that's our academic dating. And it makes sense. But the Sanskrit tradition views Sanskrit as being anadi. Okay, this is the word that is used for Sanskrit. Anadi means without a beginning. An means not, and adi means a beginning. So that which has no beginning is called anadi. So then, of course, the question is like, wait a second. How can a language be anadi if humans are not anadi? If the earth is not anadi? And the reason is because the universe is said to be anadi. The universe is said to be without a beginning. And the universe being without a beginning there was a point in time when certain people, whom we now call as rishis, or these great seers who were responsible for the development of what we call the Veda today, are said to have discovered in their seat of deep meditation at some point in these lush valleys of the Himalayas or wherever they're from, that the universe is made up of vibrations. And every experience that you can have is connected, therefore, to some vibration, and that vibration is a sound. So they take these sounds, which are inhering in all of the experiences that you can have in the universe, and make them into the roots of what we now call as Sanskrit. And so when you speak this language, what you're doing is you are recreating those same vibrations, which are already present, attached to all of the experiences that you can have in the universe. And in so doing, you experience some kind of an effect. Because your body is also a vibration, and the words that you produce are also a vibration. And so they resonate together in a particular way, and you experience some kind of effect. That is if you don't know what Sanskrit means. So you go to a temple or something, and you hear these chants blasting on these loudspeakers. I don't know, whoever came up with loudspeakers deserves some kind of award. Maybe not in a good way sometimes. But you're being blasted with these vibrations, and even if you don't know what they mean, you come out feeling like something. But if you know what they mean, if you are able to bring this language into your mind also, then your mind, which is also a vibration, then resonates to these same frequencies, and you experience a more profound effect. Not only like, I feel good, or I feel peaceful, or whatever, but rather there is a deeper engagement with those vibrations. There's a deeper experience to be had with those vibrations. That's as much as I will say about the way Sanskrit views itself. One should understand when studying this language that it's not merely a language. That is the way in which Sanskrit wants to view itself. It's not merely a language, but it is that primal technology with which we interact with the world. Every experience that we have is mediated through language for us. And a study of Sanskrit then becomes also not only a study of one particular language, but a study of language as such. And it's in that way, through that angle, that we will approach this language. Of course, ours will be a spoken Sanskrit class, but there will be points where we're like, whoa, language works like this also. So we will get a grasp on what language is, how language works, how language shapes our universe, and the way in which we interact with the universe through language. The central most component of a sentence in Sanskrit is the verb. And all other words orbit around this verb, relating to that verb in certain ways. The reason for that, of course, is because if the universe is made up of vibrations, then everything is action. Everything is what they call as kriya, action, activity. And so that activity forms the action, that forms the verb. And around that activity, everything is relating all the time. So, okay, yeah, so that's as much as I will say about Sanskrit. You guys are here to learn how to speak, so we'll just get into the speaking now. Okay, are you guys ready? I normally have some rules in my class, which are 1, no translating, 2, no translating, and 3, no jumping the gun. No jumping the gun means there will be points in time where I ask a question, and you may think you know what the answer will be. And sometimes, we have this tendency of like shouting out the answer, like, I know, but it may not be what we're asking. So no jumping the gun means wait for the call and response, pattern to be developed and participate in that way. It'll be helpful for you and also for everybody to do that. But in this class, we're going to break actually rules number 1 and 2, because for speed purposes, since we don't have an immersive environment that we can create, it's not like some weekend camp where we're just 24 hours in Sanskrit, I will actually translate some things for you, much to my own chagrin. But I have seen over the years that translating some things here and there can speed up the process of becoming familiar with the language. So, so I will do that for you guys. But as far as possible, please try to think of an object directly in the Sanskrit. So try to engage with the object directly through the language of Sanskrit and not mediated through your native language. So it's not like you look at this thing and then you say, that is a book, and a book is this in Sanskrit. Not like that. This is simply whatever it is in Sanskrit, okay? Pustakam. We'll get there. All right? Okay, so let's start. Don't worry, it's very easy. That's the last thing I'll say in English. All right. Mama nama varunaha. Mama nama varunaha. Mama nama varunaha. Let's start over here. Bhavataha nama kim?
Mama nama Tim.
Tim. Okay, so now you may have heard that I added this aha thing at the end of my name. That's because my name is already in Sanskrit. So I'm able to attach this ending to it, which will help it relate to other words in the sentence later on. But if one's name is not already in Sanskrit, then you can just say your name as it is, which just say your names as they are for now. Okay, we'll learn how to modify them with other words in the sentence later on. For respect, we have this word that goes at the end of a word that's that's somebody's name or whatever, which is mahodaya, and I will write that on the board so that you can keep that word in your arsenal because it'll come up a lot. And it says marks a lot on the thing, but there we go. Okay, I'm adding this little at the end here. And for a female, that will be like this. Okay. Mahodayah and Mahodaya. Now, one thing I didn't ask you, which I should have at the beginning, was your preferred pronoun, because that will be important in determining how we address you. So I will go with he, him, and if we can preferred pronouns so that we know how to interact, that will be very helpful.
She, her, hers.
Okay,
He, him.
thank you. Preferred pronoun is how you prefer to be called, as him or her, he or she, like that.
So how should I choose?
So for me, I choose he and him as my preferred pronoun. She said she and her, he and him, and you can also...
Oh, she and her.
Okay.
Yeah.
She,
Okay.
she.
I prefer His Majesty.
Yes, I did wonder at some point, I had this thought in my head that what if I say my preferred pronoun is I, me? Then what will happen? But okay, His Majesty it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
She, her.
Mm-hmm.
She, her.
Okay, thanks.
He, him.
All right. Okay, great. That's very helpful. Thank you all. So now for this he, him situation, we've got Mahodaya for the he, hims of the world.
But what if someone identifies
As
what
they,
if,
them?
Yeah, as they, them.
Okay. For they, them, I don't actually have a clear answer. Because Sanskrit is gendered in such a way that there is masculine, feminine, and neuter.
Mm-hmm.
They, them, although it's neutral, is not exactly neuter in the sense that the person who identifies not as a particular gender cannot be referred to as tat, the way in which we would refer in Sanskrit, because it doesn't compute properly. We can try that. But as for a word like Mahodaya, there's not really a way to do that. And I've been thinking about this question for a long time now. and I don't have a clear answer. But soon I will come up with a way in which to do that. And because the first time I had a student who introduced themselves as they them in my class, and then I was like, oh boy, how do we do this? But luckily for the purpose of the class, they decided to go with he, him. And so I was like, okay, well, that helps, but still we need to come up with some way to update Sanskrit's ability to deal with this gender binary. So we'll come up with a way. It'll happen sometime, yes.
I assume we should use bhavan with you, but when we're addressing each other, should we use bhavan? Or...
The way I teach it, bhavan for everyone. In the way that in English, although we have you and thou, we just address everyone as you. So in that way, we'll simplify things. And that simplification will help us sort of gain fluency quickly, and then we can add nuance later on. But yeah, bhavan is the way. Anyway, it'll come. It'll all come. Okay, so mama nama varunaha, or for... Yeah, okay, I'll stick with that. Mama nama varunaha. Mama nama varunaha. We'll start again. Bhavataha nama kim?
Mama nama Tim.
Okay, great. It's mama nama Tim.
Mama nama Tim.
Okay, excellent. Mama nama varunaha. Bhavataha nama kim? Alright, thanks. But we'll do it with a full sentence, okay? So that's the right answer, but give me the entire sentence. Mama. Excellent. Mama nama kya? Very good. Thank you. Okay, mama nama varunaha. Bhavataha nama kim?
Mama nama Amjo.
Amjo. Okay, bhavataha nama Amjo. Bhavataha nama kim?
Mama nama Josh.
Bhavataha.
That's a
That's
change,
a
but-
jock. Well, yes, that's eventually that may happen indeed. Or we'll go with Josh Mahodayaha. That'll make it nice and easy. Okay, but okay. Bhavataha nama Josh. Dhanyavadaha. Bhavataha nama kim?
Mama nama Jin.
Excellent. Bhavataha nama kim?
Mama nama Tathagata.
Bhavataha nama kim?
Mama nama Elliot.
Bhavataha nama kim?
Mama nama Daniel.
Bhavataha.
Mama nama David.
Bhavataha.
Mama nama Nikhila.
Okay, uttamam. Mama nama Varunaha. Bhavataha nama Tim. Bhavataha nama Gyan. Bhavataha nama Amjo. Bhavataha nama Josh. Like that. Okay? Bhavataha is this word that we just learned. I'll write it. Sorry that the whiteboard is on this side. As you may have noticed, I did not give you the alphabet. We did not do any of that kind of stuff, no letters, no nothing. Write it on your paper as you hear it, as you can interpret it, okay? I'm not teaching you alphabets or any letters or anything like that. We're jumping into the language the way a baby jumps into a language. A baby is not taught the alphabet until they're already fluent in the language that they speak. You're already talking and then it's like A, B. So first we have to learn how to hear it and reproduce it, then we can think about other stuff, okay? Have you guys observed this? You know what I'm talking about? A
Yes.
baby's already speaking. And then you're like, this is A. And they're like, so why should we approach a language any different? Okay, we are also babies in the Sanskrit world. Bhavataha. Now this is the he/him version of that. Bhavataha nama Jaina. Bhavataha nama Daniel. Okay. Mama nama Parvati. Mama nama Parvati. Bhavatyaha nama kim?
Mama nama Suzanne.
Bhavatyaha nama kim?
Mama nama Avata.
Uttamam. Bhavatyaha nama kim?
Mama nama Jafi.
Alright. Bhavatyaha nama kim?
Mama nama Sanjana.
Uttamam. Bhavatyaha nama kim?
Mama nama Ishu.
Dhanyavadaha. Bhavatyaha nama kim?
Mama nama Shivani.
Bhavatyaha nama kim?
Mama nama Patty. Mama nama Padmini.
Oh, Padmini. Okay, wonderful. Great name. That's the name that Dr. Sharma gave.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Padmini, nice one. Okay, great. Bhavatyaha. For future classes, we will change the layout of this room a little bit, which will be maybe one table in the front like this, and then we'll have chairs so that everyone can like look around and stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but we'll figure something out next time. So bhavatyaha, okay, bhavatyaha. Mama nama Varunaha, bhavataha nama Tim Mahodayah, bhavataha nama Gyan Mahodayah, bhavataha nama Amjol Mahodayah, bhavatyaha nama Sanjana Mahodaya, bhavatyaha nama Kim Ekavaram. Sorry, I bhavatyaha nama Kim
Mama nama Yushu.
Yushu.
I can answer for me.
Okay, you can also write it. That will help me.
His this is short or this is ring. This is like my nickname in Korean.
Arla.
Okay, Ala.
Ala.
Yes.
Okay. And what is your actual name? I want to learn that also.
Okay. This would be Yaksa.
Yaksa.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, great. Okay. So bhavatyaha nama Yaksa or bhavatyaha nama Ala. Like that. Okay, great. Bhavatyaha nama Shivani, bhavatyaha nama Patty. Okay? Okay. Suzanne, you will ask bhavataha nama.
Okay. Bhavataha nama Kim.
Mama nama David. Bhavatyaha.
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 Yes. Nama.
Nama Kim.
Yes.
Mama nama Alada.
Okay, awesome. Bhavataha nama, bhavatyaha nama. Now,
Do you want to ask someone?
you will bhavataha nama Kim, bhavataha nama Kim, like that. Okay, everybody find the person next to you. Bhavataha nama Kim or bhavatyaha nama Kim.
Mama nama is Kim.
Mama nama Josh.
Mama nama is Kim.
Mama nama David. Bhavatyaha nama
Now
Kim.
you ask me my name. Say Bhava.
Do you do it again?
No. Once you've done it, that's great. Bhavataha nama Kim, Mama nama John, bhavatyaha nama Kim, Mama nama Susie, bhavatyaha nama Kim. It's okay, just once is fine. Alright. Mama nama Varunaha, Mama nama Kim.
Bhavatyaha nama Varuna. No.
But my name is Varunaha, not Bhavatyaha, but
Bhavataha.
Bhavataha, right. So, Mama nama Varunaha, Mama nama Kim.
Bhavataha nama Varunaha.
Varuna.
Yes, Bhavataha nama Varunaha is what you will say. As I am saying, Bhavataha nama Josh Mahodaya, Bhavataha nama Jainil Mahodaya, Bhavataha nama Daniel Mahodaya, Bhavataha nama Nikhil Mahodaya. Mama nama Varunaha, Mama nama Kim.
Bhavataha nama Varunaha.
Excellent. Mama nama Ramaha, Mama nama Kim.
Bhavataha nama Ramaha.
Mama nama Arjunaha, Mama nama Kim.
Bhavataha nama Arjunaha.
Yes. Mama nama Sita, Mama nama Kim.
Bhavatyaha nama Sita.
Excellent. Mama nama Gita, Mama nama Kim.
Bhavatyaha nama Gita.
Uttamam. Mama nama Parvati, Mama nama Kim.
Bhavatyaha nama Parvati.
Excellent. Bhavataha, bhavatyaha. All right. Nama, Kim. And mama. All right. Okay. Tim Mahodayaha. Please come over here. All right. Tim Mahodayaha. Okay. Tim Mahodayaha. Mahodayaha is a respectful thing. It helps us to maintain respect for people. Okay. Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Saha Kaha. I'll always give you the answer before I ask you the question. Always, okay? Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Saha Kaha.
Saha Tim Mahodayaha.
Yes, Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Okay? Saha Kaha.
Saha Tim Mahodayaha.
Kaha Tim Mahodayaha.
Saha
Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Okay, you have to use your hands, okay? I know it's a 9 a.m. class, but unless you use your hand, I don't know who you're referring to when you say Saha. I'll say Kaha Tim Mahodayaha, and you'll be like Saha Tim Mahodayaha, and then I'll be like,
Which one is Tim Mahodayaha?
sorry?
Which one?
Yeah, which one is Tim Mahodaya? Exactly, that's what I'll be wondering. So if you just say Saha into the air, then I don't have any reference for who you're referring to. So it is done like this. Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Saha, okay? Now, maybe not like this. Somehow this is seen as not so respectful in the Sanskrit culture. But this is more like how we do it, okay? It's more like an indication than a point. Okay? Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Saha Kaha.
Saha Tim Mahodayaha.
Excellent. Saha Tim Mahodayaha. Kaha Tim Mahodayaha.
Saha Tim Mahodayaha.
Excellent. Dhanya. Oh, well. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Dhanyavada. Okay. Saha. Okay? Sanjana. Sanjana Mahodaya. Okay, this will be Mahodaya. Notice that the difference happens only in that little ending part of the word. Aha versus ah. Okay, so start recognizing, tune yourself to the ending of the word. It doesn't matter what the word actually is. What matters is what comes at the end. And that ending is going to indicate to you masculine, feminine, singular, dual, plural, and so on. Okay? That we have to start paying attention to. Sanjana Mahodaya. Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. Sa Ka.
Sa Sanjana Mahodaya.
Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. Ka Sanjana Mahodaya.
Sa Sanjana
Excellent.
Mahodaya.
Yes. Yes. Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. Ka Sanjana Mahodaya.
Sa Sanjana
Sa
Mahodaya.
Sanjana Mahodaya. Okay, excellent. Sa Ka.
Sa Sanjana Mahodaya.
Okay, notice the questions I'm asking are two different questions. One is Sa Ka, and one is Ka Sanjana Mahodaya. Okay, both of them are different questions whose answer is the same. The emphasis is a little different. Sa Ka, that word Ka, which is the question word, will be replaced by the answer. Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. And then Ka Sanjana Mahodaya. I already know Sanjana Mahodaya. Now I'm asking about Ka Sanjana Mahodaya. And the answer is Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. Okay, you guys got it? There's a slight difference in that question, but it helps you to practice in different ways, okay? Knowing thing to say in different ways for different reasons. Okay, so Ka Sanjana Mahodaya.
Sanjana
All right.
Mahodaya.
Okay, dhanyavadaha. Dhanyavadaha means thank you. Dhanyavadaha. Saha, sa. Ending, okay? There are 3 genders in Sanskrit. Pustakam.
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 All right. Tat pustakam.
Tat pustakam.
Tat kim.
Tat pustakam.
Excellent. You already know the question word kim from bhavatah nama kim. Tat kim.
Tat pustakam.
Tat pustakam. Kim pustakam.
Tat pustakam.
Tat pustakam. Okay, great. So tat and kim. We saw saha and kaha, sa and ka, tat and kim. Okay? You're already familiar with the question word kim because nama is also a neuter word. Tat kim. Alright. I'll ask Tim Mahodaya one more time just because it's more convenient. Otherwise, I would ask everyone to come at some point. Okay. Saha Tim Mahodaya. We're already familiar with this. Now check this out. Eshaha Tim Mahodaya. Eshaha Tim Mahodaya. One would be Saha Tim Mahodaya. And now Eshaha Tim Mahodaya. The difference between these two is this. Saha, Eshaha. That difference is not exactly there in English. Okay? So we have to slightly think a little bit differently in order to get this. When I'm a little bit far away, Saha. When I'm right next to him, then Eshaha. The word is Eshaha. Okay? Eshaha Tim Mahodayaha. But now if I ask you, Eshaha Kaha, your answer cannot be Eshaha Tim Mahodayaha. Your answer will be yes. Saha Tim. Okay, great, excellent. Eshaha Kaha.
Saha Tim Mahodaya.
Excellent. Kaha Tim Mahodayaha.
Saha Tim Mahodaya.
Saha Tim Mahodayaha. But now, if Tim Mahodaya comes over here, and I ask Sanjana, Saha Kaha.
Eshaha Tim Mahodaya.
Eshaha Tim Mahodaya. Excellent. Okay, you guys got the difference there? Saha versus Eshaha. Thank you, Tim Mahodaya. Dhanyavadaha. Okay, Saha, Eshaha. Alright, Sanjana, one last time. Okay, Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. Esha Sanjana Mahodaya. Esha. Okay, Sa, Esha. Esha Ka. Excellent, thank you. Sa Sanjana Mahodaya. Okay, Dhanyavadaha. Sa, Esha. So let me write the words we've got so far. We have Saha, Eshaha, Sa, Esha. Can you guys guess what the version of Tat would be? Etat, yes, Etat. I will show you anyway, don't worry. Tat pustakam, etat pustakam, etat. Etat kim.
Tat pustakam.
Yes, great, thank you. Tat pustakam. Okay. What you're listening for is the ending of the word. In my name you hear Varunaha, Ramaha, Arjunaha. Or you will hear something like Sanjana, Sita, Gita. Or you'll hear something like Shivani, Padmini, Parvati. Okay? These A ending words and E ending words will be feminine for now, for us. These aha ending words are masculine, and ending words, pustakam, dwaram, and so on, will be neuter. Now I familiarize you with a couple objects, and we end for the day. Let's see what we got here. It looks like a party every class. Chashakaha.
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 These words I'm not going to write on the board. You just write down according to what you hear. Chashakaha.
Chashakaha.
Eshaha chashakaha. Eshaha kaha.
Saha chashakaha.
Awesome. Chamasaha.
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 Kaha chamasaha.
Saha.
Alright, you guys already know. Great. Dandaha. It's a stick, okay? This is a stick, not a stirrer or whatever else. It's a stick. That's what I've got it here as. Dandaha.
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 Okay, kaha dandaha.
Saha.
Saha.
Awesome. Okay, and what if I give this to you and then I ask kaha dandaha?
Sa.
Well, saha is what we were saying while it was with me. Now it's with you.
Okay. So Esha.
Exactly. Eshaha dandaha. Yes, perfect. Eshaha dandaha. And how about if I give you a chamasaha and I ask kaha chamasaha?
Saha jamasa.
Saha chamasaha was while it was with me.
Asaha jamasa.
Okay, great. Eshaha chamasaha.
Esa.
Eshaha chamasaha. And can I also, okay, well maybe here. Kaha chashakaha.
Ishaha.
Thank you. Could you also pass this down one and pass this to Nikhil?
Oh, this? Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Kaha chashakaha.
Eshaha chashaka.
Yes, very good. Kaha chamasaha.
Esha chamasaha.
Excellent. Now I will be asking saha and you will be saying
Saha.
the same thing you just said.
Esha chamasaha.
Yes. Now my question has become saha and your answer has become esha, like that. Okay? Alright. Hastaha.
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 Okay. Mama hastaha. Okay. Mama hastaha. Vittakoshaha. Vittakoshaha. This is a koshaha. And this is a vittakoshaha. Mm-hmm. Vittakoshaha. Mama vittakoshaha. Okay. Alright. And this will be vittam. Oh. Yes. Many light bulb moments will happen. Speaking of which, Deepaha.
Deepaha.
Deepaha comes from the root div, same root as the word divine, divinity, Deepaha. Okay. Vidyut koshaha. Vidyut koshaha. Vidyut means electricity or lightning. Okay, and this is a vidyut koshaha. Eshaha vidyut koshaha. Eshaha kaha?
Saha Vittakoshaha.
Vittakoshaha. Yes, you will say saha vittakoshaha. Okay. Eshaha kaha?
Saha
Kaha.
Chashaka.
Eshaha kaha?
Saha
Alright. Eshaha kaha?
Saha
Yep, and you can even say saha bhavataha hastaha. And I'll say mama hastaha. Okay, alright. That is aha. Sthalika.
Stalika.
Sthalika.
Stalika.
Churika.
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 Kunchika.
Kunchika.
Kunchika. Mama Kunchika. Alright. Okay, I'll leave these other things for next week. But a couple of neuter ones you should get. Pustakam.
Pustakam.
Paalam.
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 That's a generic word. But specifically, this is a kadali phalam.
Kadali.
Kadali
Paalam.
phalam. But otherwise, just a phalam. Okay, we'll end there for today. More next week. And as you become familiar with more vocab and more connecting words, the language will be made. You can say a lot already. Yes.
Notice we're not using verbs.
We haven't used any verbs yet. It's intentional. Yes. Sorry?
Or will we?
Of course we will. Next week we will get some verbs. But for now, we just have this stuff. Yes.
Is there any app or program to practice pronunciation? Or
Practice pronunciation. That's a good question. There are some videos. There are some videos that you can look at. Perhaps I can send those things around. Which reminds me, I didn't take anybody's contact info.
Send it on a paper.
Yeah, if you could just quickly, especially those who have to leave immediately, please just quickly write your name and email, and then I can. Okay, that's it. In the meantime, any other questions?
Any questions?
Okay, it's very easy. It's honestly, it's very, very easy. We'll just keep building this pattern, and slowly you'll be like, "Whoa, I know Sanskrit. Cool." So it'll be like that, painless and happy. And okay, well, thank you for coming, guys.